This is a FRAA special. This is the 1920s.
Hola, mi nombre es Fatima Mejia from FRAA Television. Today's special is on the 1920s, a time where society, economy, and politics were greatly evolving. Today we have a few experts here to tell us about immigration restriction changes in the economy and business of America. We are here to educate you on how much you know about the country. Our first expert is Richard Gonzalez, talking about the economic boom in the 1920s.
My name is Richard Gonzalez, and I majored in politics at the University of Massachusetts. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the 1920s economic boom, the consumer society, as well as the conservative politics. As for economic boom, the economy shifted. This was the first time in the U.S. where we were experiencing a rapid economic growth and living standards. This was a time where automobile industry boomed. The old economy was based on steel, coal, textiles, lumber, meat packing, and shipping. But it was replaced by automobiles, entertainment, processed foods, and petroleum chemicals, which was a consumer's demand. Many people were moving to major urban cities at the time because of the advanced technology and culture. As for the conservative politics, the conservative Republicans dominated politics. During Wilson's presidency, the Americans were tired of all the strikes, race riots, and red scares, which was when Americans were threatened and basically scared of communism. Harding said that the country needed to be restored. No more change had to be made, and the United States should progress naturally.
Okay, thank you. Now, our next expert is Patrice Roberts, talking about immigration restriction and the KKK.
Hi, my name is Patrice Roberts. I major in African American Studies at UMass Dartmouth. And today I am here to talk about, jazz and prohibition and immigration restriction and the KKK. First off, let me just say that the 1920s was an era where the United States was slowly declining in a way, because as you know, in the 1930s we came to the Great Depression. With immigration and restriction in the KKK, we have, the whole Quota Act and the Johnson-Reed Act that, shaped U.S. immigration for like the next 4 years, and it was basically a blank effort to limit immigration for Southern and Eastern Europe immigrants. Mexicans in this time, they faced increased barrier entry, and it was just a tragic time for these people. And the KKK, they came in the thousands, and they literally started to take over the United States. I mean, people in our government were KKK members, okay, which showed that they I'm trying to find a word, that they were racist. I can remember studying this one thing where 50,000 KKK members marched near the White House, okay? And I found that to be so significant at this time, because I couldn't see African Americans living during this era. I just couldn't imagine how you could live during this time. And they even went against their own people. I mean, they tried to distinguish whether some whites were proper, or they tried to choose which whites stayed and which whites didn't belong. And if you opposed them, they essentially would kill you, or they would terrorize you. Now, the Jazz Age and the whole prohibition thing. I remember studying about, race records. They were marketed towards black audiences across the U.S. You had Bessie Smith, who sells 750 copies. Foreign language radio shows become very important, and just basically all of America Americanizing, essentially. Thank you.
Ahora estamos aquí con Adriana, a West Indian immigrant from the 1920s. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the jazz age and the prohibition?
Well, from time I come to this country, I came here during the era, as you say, called the 1920s. And I remember during this jazz period, we had something called the speakeasies. You know what that is? You know what that is? It was a place where they sold illegal liquor. Liquor was totally illegal, and so the rich white men and the rich white woman then they come up to these places and they drink up all the liquor and they have a good time. And then for us black people then, you know, during the Harlem Renaissance, we have these speakeasies as well, and we had them in basements or so. You understand?
Okay. How bad was immigration and the rise of the country?
Oh, Jesus, cheese and bread. Immigration was so terrible. You have everybody coming in at one time. Everybody just like travel. They go come into this country. We had to find housing. We had to find money. We had to find job. We had to find food. Our picnic, our children, they had to get schooling. The white people, especially for us, for the black people, they don't want us here. They don't want us here. You understand? It was hard for us immigrants. The KKK. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I moved from my house because the people then threatened me to burn down my house. And my boss, God bless her soul, she just like go take me in her house and she feed me. She gave all my picnic them clothes, and I worked for her as a housemaid or everything. And she was also threatened by the KKK because she just loved the black people, and the KKK opposed us. Understand? Mexican immigrants, they had it bad, you know. Their restriction coming into the U.S. was more stricter than us. These people, white people, did not want them in this country.
Thank you, Adriana. Now, our next expert is Ashanti Lacet, informing us on the Harlem Renaissance.
The Harlem Renaissance was when mostly African Americans were looking for a change in themselves and were no longer afraid of the white man. They were referred to as this new black. The new black was when African Americans were proud to be themselves and proud to be black. It was all about embracing who they were. Famous poets and writers such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey were trying to encourage black people to get their education and persevere in their lives. You can kind of say that the Harlem Renaissance really shapes the African American community for the best.
Can you tell us a little bit about fundamentalists?
Hi, my name is Ashanti Lacet, and I'm here to inform you about fundamentalists in the 1920s. Fundamentalists believed in the literal interpretation of the Bible. They basically didn't accept Darwin's theory of evolution. They persuaded several southern states to outlaw the teaching of evolution in public schools, which was unfair to many biology science teachers, such as John T. Scopes, a biology teacher in Tennessee. He decided to take up the offer of defending any teacher willing to challenge just the laws. He was arrested and put on trial, which was then called the Scopes trial. It became an international sensation. People from everywhere were coming around. Hundreds of spectators jammed the streets, dotted with banners, lemonade stands, and even a chimpanzee show. Claire Darrow led the ACLU team defending Scopes, while William Jennings Bryan assisted the prosecution. Although Scopes was found guilty, it was basically a victory for economic freedom.
And now I'm here with Candy, a woman from the 1920s, talking about her life living in the cities. Hello, my name is Candy, and I am a dancer from the 1920s. I worked in the city with about 30 other women and a few men that they were homosexuals, and they weren't really appreciated in this society because they were different. And I feel like in my situation, I was different too. I loved my new style. I wore short dresses with lots of skin showing. I felt fresh. I felt new. I felt myself. I felt more woman. I wasn't an old grumpy housewife having to deal with my husband's abusive self with the temperance movement. I loved going out on the weekends and going to movies and the carnivals. I think that these are the best years of my life.
Thank you for watching today's special on FRAA. We were the 1920s.